The 2025 Opioid and Trauma Summit kicked off today in the Wisconsin Dells. The Wisconsin Health Department brings people together who use drugs and people in recovery to try and get the help they need to save lives in the future. It's a two-day event with more than 700 people expected to attend.
Being able to be together, sharing knowledge, information, experiences to create that energy and enhance the knowledge base to really work towards more evidence-based and well-rounded practices to impact those who are experiencing substance use across the state of Wisconsin.
Hayes wants people to know that there is help and encourages people to reach out.